Hi everyone, we are back with the mic, and I'm still trying to see which place I should sit, but I think this would be fine. Does seem a little bit far. Hold on. The way I planned today's video is not gonna work, but I did want to address a very important milestone in this particular journey, and that's the fact that I've been a Takealot seller for the past 6 months. On the 18th of February, we hit 6 months, and I wanted to talk about it at the 3 month mark, but I was still making a loss back then. So I don't want to discourage anybody. And now things have turned for the better, but it's still not something that I can share my screen with you guys on, even though that's what I had planned for the 6 month mark. So I'm just going to talk about it in general, and then let's see at 9 months where we at, so that I can give you exact figures and um yeah exact figures, because I don't want to say exact projections because that's subjective, but then each person's journey is different. So why did I start selling on Takealot? I was looking for a way to make extra money that did not involve being an active freelancer. So just like how I'm feeling now, a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit like stressed out because of the amount of work that I need to do and I don't have a team. I was feeling the exact same way towards the end of last year. I had made 11,000 Rand on Fiverr through meeting minutes. And even though I'm so grateful for that because it helped me pay for school now, because I'm back at school, um, how can I say this? As much as it opened the door to something else, I still feel like I overworked myself, and then I did not take the time off in December as I should have. So I started the year tired, and I suspect that that's why I'm still feeling a bit tired right now. But the shop still continued running, like it runs every single day. I don't know how loud my laughing is gonna be on this mic because I just blew on it and this part moved. Anyway, so when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, that's pretty normal. My goal, start with the end in mind. My goal was to create an additional stream of income where I didn't have to handle distribution, packaging, sales, marketing, all of that stuff, and Takealot and a few of other marketplaces. Amazon's coming now, Macros is also doing it, is the perfect way of doing that. So, what I did not, okay, let's divide this video in two, like in two levels, or you get what I'm trying to say. Okay, the first part that I'm going to address are all the benefits, and then the second part are all the hard lessons learned. Okay, so what are the benefits? I don't have to handle all the things that I just stated above. And number two, during December, the Takealot money is the only way that I survived December and a little bit of January, which was surprisingly the time that I made the most sales. Which means that if you really want to be successful on Takealot, you have to do your product research so that you sell products that are popular during those months. Obviously, you want to make money the whole year, but had I been super prepared for December and January, I would have made a killing. But based on the products I had available, I was pretty much sold out. So I started it with 15 products of the same thing. So it was these pocket binders that are also really popular on the site right now. And there was someone who was already selling them and selling them in all the variants that you can think of. But it's something that I thought was rising in South Africa at the time. I did do a bit of product research to the best of my ability, and I ended up getting a different version than what was available, and I went all in and got about 15 units. So one of them was mine, and then I believe it was 150 where I bought it I bought it from Shein. I wanted to try Alibaba, but there was just too many logistical issues. So it was 155. I listed it for 499 originally, but then because December, all of that stuff, people having sales and all of that stuff, there was times when I listed it for 399, and there was also a time that I listed it for 449. So basically 400, 450, and 500. But 500 was when it stayed at 500 for the longest time. And that's also where I did make, I think, half of the sales. So overall, it took maybe 3 to 4 months for me to sell out those 14 items. But in the meantime, I decided to diversify my listings and got a bunch of things that I thought looked cute on TikTok and all this other stuff, but then it ended up not selling. And it was just a lot. It was a lot of ups and downs, but I think the positive side is that it did start to create the thing that I was looking forward to, which was the fact that I was making an extra stream of income. As we speak, today's a Monday. So in total sales last week, I made 2,000 rand in the past week, and then I woke up to a sale this morning of something that's listed for 399. So this is without take a lot fees, which is something I'll cover on the other side. So I went from making 2,000, let's say, total sales per month to now being able to make 2,000 to 3,000 rand in sales per week. And that shows me that's growth. So that shows me that there is a place to go. It's not like things are going to stand still forever. So it means that I have to be strategic about where to go next to ensure that upward projection. So, lessons learned. Um, in the first month that I joined, they did not charge me a subscription fee. And the subscription fee on the site says that it's 400 Rand a month to be a seller. And obviously, then they have the additional fees per sale, right? Subscription fees actually 460, and I know it's only 60 Rand in additional, but wow, that thing kills. So you can imagine if you're only making, let's say, 1,000 Rand a month on there, 460 of it is gonna go straight to Takealot. So I can't, like, this is something that definitely hit me in the face in the first 3 months or so, because that's when you're still figuring things out and you're still trying to be patient to see what sells, what is selling and what's not selling. So that was a slap in the face. But it did help not to pay it in that first month because you want to focus on your stock and, all of that stuff. Number two is that you can be super overwhelmed by which products that you need to sell. I'm personally not a tech person, but it would be really awesome to get someone to advise me on that because I think that's still one of the top things that are selling on Takealot at the moment. And it's just like such a perishable good because yes, you can. For example, I'm on my third pair of headphones. I bought two that broke really easily, but that was my fault. And I'm on my third pair. So you can imagine if you are a headphone seller on Takealot, you would have been rich just from me. But I changed suppliers for the third one. So, product research, product sourcing, oh my gosh, that stuff was really difficult. I think the only time that people have an easier time with it is if they have aunts and uncles who are in the supply chain business who can help them source products rather easily. That's the first part. The second part is that if you're in Joburg, you can go and check these things out by yourself, whereas I have to buy samples from either China or somewhere else in order for me to test it first and then see if I can list it. Then the third thing is definitely pricing. If you are not on top of your pricing game, it can also cost you dearly because yes, there is an fees estimator type of a thing that tells you how much Takealot is going to be taking off of a particular item or whatever, but you have to learn these things. And I didn't have time to sit down and actually be like, oh, in which category does Takealot charge the least amount of fees, but I think it would be something to invest a little bit of attention on, because I've had some products where Takealot is taking 50% of the total of that product. For example, I would have listed it for 149, and then they take a whopping 74 rand. So it's also about finding out about that. But also remember that they take care of like the shipping and all of that stuff. So imagine if you were selling that particular product, you would either have to work the 100 rand into the shipping, or you would have had to charge your client over and above with 100 rand to get it door to door to them. So uh, it depends on you in terms of which log is heavier to carry. So, yeah. The fourth thing is definitely keeping score or keeping account of what your actual profit is, because if you think about it, you have to source the product, you have to pay for shipping to get it here, you have to pay for another type of shipping to get it to the warehouses, and then on top of that is the fees for Takealot, and then on top of that is the subscription. So it's kind of like, are you really making a profit or not? Do you get what I mean? So if you're in a position like me where you stay further from the warehouses, you can't do the drop off yourself. And yes, people who live in Joburg actually go and drop the product off themselves, which I think also helps reduce costs. Um, yeah, so yeah, like it just kind of makes you, sorry, like it's quite loud downstairs. So that's also part of it. Then the next thing is slow moving products. They charge you a storage fee if your product isn't moving. I've paid storage fees before. I've also paid for goods to be removed from the warehouses to avoid paying storage fees. And turned out that it was cheaper to keep them there and actually just pay the storage fees. So I learned that the hard way. Another thing is that if you don't keep stock at both the Cape Town and the Joburg warehouses, whenever someone buys something that is closer to the Cape Town warehouse, let's say, and the product is only in Joburg, then they charge you something called an inter DC fee. So far, what I've seen is that it's about 20 rand. I don't know if it's based on weight or anything like that, but that also is on top of you. And obviously, if you don't keep your stock updated, you lose money in whichever month you are trading in. For example, last year, after my second stock, I decided to stop and just watch the products go. And because of that, I spent, I think, 1 month kind of not trading because everything had run out and I didn't have enough money to buy more stuff. Like, I don't know what was happening at the time. And I think I was also reckless with my Take a Lot money, business money, because I used it for personal stuff rather than just keeping it in the business. And that's definitely one of my biggest lessons learned last year. So this year, I've definitely separated it. If, for example, I do use the money, I have to pay the business back, so to speak. Okay, I don't want to make the video super long, so I'm just going to wrap up by saying the following. If you want to be a take a lot seller, it's definitely possible even if you don't have the startup cash. You just won't be successful straight out of the bat or straight out of the gate because um there's just a lot of the startup cost, and I think it's a lot of the lessons that you need to learn at the beginning. For example, I had to learn how much I need to pay courier guide to take the stuff to the warehouses, and I needed to learn how to do that correctly. My goal is to actually just double, triple what I make now, because I feel like if 15,000 or 18,000 or 20,000 is possible for the next person, why is that not possible for me? I just need to be strategic about what I need to do to grow. And the fact that I'm even making a profit is crazy to me right now, because I do have a product on there that I've listed since the beginning that has never sold, and it's like 6 months later. I have a product on there that was also listed semi from the beginning that sold 2 months ago for the first time. Um, and I didn't know what was causing that, or, you know, and I've had products that I would list today and tomorrow it starts selling. I've actually had a product that sold out last week because it was a sample. So I got 5 of them and I decided to test it on Takealot and it was sold out within a week. So it's kind of like, you know, especially if you don't have that selling kind of like bone in you like me, you're just testing it out. It's definitely worth it, but you have to take a lot of risks. And some of us don't like taking risks. That's me. So it's definitely been a huge lesson learned. But is it worth it? Yes, I do think it's worth it. I just think that you must, it needs a lot of your attention for the first couple of months. That's just unfortunate, but it's the truth. So yeah, those are my views on Take a Lot. Hopefully in the next couple of months I'll be able to share the basically like the bare bones operations with you guys, and so that you can see if it's something that you're interested in doing or not. But if you want to get started so long, just make the decision to start, so that you can actually start with doing product research, see which products always sell out. A perishable is great. And I don't mean like some food or anything like that. I just mean a product that a lot of people need at a particular time or straight through the year. That would be great. Start seeing where you can source the product. And then when you know how that's going to work, then you open the profile. Because if you open the profile right now and you have no goods to sell, they'll still charge you the subscription fee. So you want to avoid that until the last minute. Yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Like I've stated, I will share my screen at some time in future so that you can see the backside of my Takealot shop. But I really hope this was informative, helpful. Let me know in the comments. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.